Ready.
James, just to reconfirm, are we ready and back?
Yes, we are ready.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll call to open the regular meeting for September 19th for the Arts Commission of Ojai. Roll call, please.
Yes. Chairperson West? Call in roll call?
Did you say my name?
I did, sir.
Okay. Present. I'm not usually called chairperson.
Vice Chair Steiner?
I'm here, and Commissioner Grau says that she is in the waiting room and no one is letting her.
Microphone, please.
No, thank you for your assistance, but she's on Zoom.
We are admitting her now.
Okay. She is one of many in our community with COVID these days. Be careful, everyone. Be careful out there.
Commissioner Grau, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm not there.
You can just interrupt tonight because I can't see if you're raising your hand or anything, so you go right ahead, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else here?
Continuing with roll call, Commissioner Grau,
Here?
thank you, and Commissioner Wright.
Here.
Thank you.
So we're showing David Leeds absent?
Yes,
Okay.
David Leeds is
Yeah,
absent.
he couldn't. He's forgiven. All right. Why don't you James, do the pledge for us tonight? I'm not feeling very.
Happy to. Please place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we had one public general comment. Is there anything online?
Presently, we see no hands raised online. We do have
It
one
was Michael
general comment.
Esquanic, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, come up, Mike.
Good evening, and welcome new commission member. I'm Michael Estwanek, founder and board president of the nonprofit American Songbook Today, which was founded over 25 years ago. I live in Ojai, and our mission is to celebrate the American Songbook, to preserve this musical treasury, and to foster it for future generations through concerts and educational workshops. The board of directors and I wish to thank you and the city for the grant funds this year in the amount of $1,775. This money enabled us to continue presenting concerts to over 700 Ojai Valley residents with over 40 wonderful Ojai Valley singers and musicians ranging in age from 16 to 93. In the past, we have honored Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, Rodgers and Hart, the Gershwins, Kander and Ebb, who wrote Cabaret in Chicago, Leonard Bernstein, and a very special Songs for a Peace. Our songs are by nature filled with recognizable melodies and meaningful lyrics, such as God Bless America, Embraceable You, I've Got You Under My Skin, and so many, many thousands more. But as some of you may recall, last year's Arts Grant Ad Hoc Committee judged us to be unworthy of funding, and perhaps members of this Ad Hoc Committee and past or present members of the Arts Commission, no one has ever been able to attend any of our concerts to witness what it is we do. But thankfully, the Ojai City Council overruled the recommendations of the Ad Hoc Committee, and again, we are so grateful. Next Sunday, September 29th at 7 p.m., we hope you can join us as we pay tribute to the great Broadway and film composer Stephen Sondheim at the Ojai Valley Women's Club. It's only $20, and our concerts last only about an hour and 15 minutes. But you will enjoy some of Ojai and Ventura's most talented performers, such as Marcus Kettles, Madison Bales, Grace Lowe, and many more. You'll see our ad in the Ojai Valley News tomorrow. We would love to have you witness what it is we do so that you will be in a truly wonderful position to judge and experience whether or not we deserve to be worthy of funding in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for Sondheim. The Oak Grove School, the little kids are going to do Into the Woods as their, and someone sent me a video today of a little kindergartner, 5-year-old, singing the witch song in the haircut chair. Which is one of the most, the kids don't know that's difficult music. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Yeah, so thank you. Presentation, do I introduce our presentation? Since I got them too. Today we've been doing regular presentations since I became chair last year of our, from the community, from the arts organizations, and today is Dance Ojai. I don't know if you're all presenting, but we have Isha Faraz, Ishil Gladstone, Carrie Sanders, and Paulina Carey. Please, you guys have the floor.
Oh, this is exciting. All right. I have to talk into this, right? So I can be heard? Okay. Greetings, members of the Ojai Arts Commission, and thank you for allowing us the time to present a little bit about our organization, as well as share a short recap on the completion of our project, the Ojai World Dance Festival, of which we were awarded a grant by the Arts Commission to complete. My name is Isha Faraz, and I'm the founder and board president of Dance Ojai. We have been an active organization in the Ojai community since 2015 and have hosted and curated countless events, performances, and classes that have brought cultural appreciation and delightful dance services to the Ojai community. In order to expand our offerings and seek proper funding for our projects, we incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit earlier this year, and just in time to launch our main organizational initiative, the Ojai World Dance Festival. Joining me are some of our wonderful board and community members to share with you just how magical and successful our inaugural event was in meeting our project goals as outlined in our initial grant application to the Ojai Arts Commission. Our main project goals we achieved in producing the Ojai World Dance Festival were: Number 1, enhancement of the cultural richness of Ojai by celebrating diversity and beauty within various dance traditions. The support of local multicultural performing artists and offering them a professional platform to present and celebrate their traditions. Bringing an amazing event to Ojai and establishing a new addition and tradition to Ojai artistic landscape, and drawing in people from all of Southern California to enjoy and increase appreciation for the multicultural dance arts and, of course, our wonderful town. In alignment with the mission of the Ojai Arts Commission, we benefited the local community, exposing them to the diversity within the dance arts, developing new audiences, and helping to ensure the vitality of the arts in the Ojai Valley. Now I'll turn it over to Ishel to share a little bit about the community response to this project.
As Isha said, the first annual Ojai World Dance Festival was an immense success. It created an entire new audience for these art forms within our community and fostered a great appreciation for a variety of cultures in their artistic expressions. We welcomed around 900 guests in the audience with the help of 40 volunteers and hosted around 165 dancers. We were warmly received by the Ojai community, and the excitement for the event in the days leading up to it were palpable. We hosted local dance troupes as well as troupes from Ventura, Oxnard, Santa Barbara, and Goleta. We were able to present aerial dance for the very first time in history of the Libby Bowl from local Ojai studio, Ojai Aerial, directed by Oak Grove teacher Sarah Benson. We received amazing feedback following the event, including this testimonial from Marilyn Miller, the director of the Center for Spiritual Living in Ojai, and I quote, "Please accept my heartfelt thanks for the fabulous dance concert on April 20th. The brilliance of these local and regional companies was beyond inspiring. The color, rhythm, and sheer joy displayed felt simply sublime. I found myself cheering "Bravo" over and over again. Thank you for your vision, energy, and artistry. It was an event to behold. End quote. People came from all over Southern California, from Goleta to Los Angeles, to attend the festival. It was enjoyed by children and seniors alike and was truly a unique educational experience and production. I'll now turn you over to Carrie to share a little bit about our budget and future goals.
It was amazing. We filled the bowl. We were awarded a total of $1,775 in grant funding from the Arts Commission and the City of Ojai. We were able to complete our project with a budget of approximately $27,000. This minimal budget was only possible as many of our staff, including us here, volunteered a great deal of our time and professional skills to make this festival a reality. With the support of many local businesses and private donors, we were able to cover all of our production costs. With ticket sales, we were able to compensate each of the 15 participating dance troupes with a small monetary token of appreciation, totaling $400. On average, each dancer received $36 for their participation, which is a nominal amount for the excellence and dedication they exhibited in their craft, as well as the costs they incurred from their own expenses, such as costumes, studio rental, and for rehearsals, etc. Our goal for the Ojai World Dance Festival 2025 is to secure more substantial grant funding to generously compensate our staff as well as our participating dance troupes, as the amount of work, effort, and energy that goes into a world-class production like this is enormous. In order to make this endeavor a sustainable offering, this will be a primary goal for our organization leading up to our 2025 event. Now I'd like to turn it over to Emma to share a bit about our marketing and outreach efforts.
Hello. We had fantastic support from the media, who were very generous with their coverage and promotion of our event. Our media outreach was led by one of our dance community members, Tammy Davis, who graciously volunteered her time and efforts. We made the front cover of VC Reporter, landing an article in the Culture and Events section of the Ojai Valley newspaper, and were featured on the radio show All Things 805. We heavily promoted via social media with paid advertising, both digital and print, as well as posted flyers in all areas of Southern California to promote the festival. Participating troupes also promoted the event within their own communities, which brought even more diversity and cultural exchange within our audiences. With the consistent effort of our Dance Ojai team, we far surpassed our projected outcomes and were ecstatic at the response of the community. It was truly a celebration of culture, beauty, and diversity that we hope will become a supported Ojai tradition that everyone looks forward to attending every year. We would like to share a festival recap video that will hopefully give you a good sense of what a spectacular event this was. Please enjoy.
Sound. Is there sound?
I believe that due to policy, we won't be able to display the sound.
The sound is actually, I own the rights to the sound. So I'm able to play that without any problem.
Let's play the sound. It's a part of the performance.
I do not make the policy. I apologize. I can relay your concerns to staff, and I have. That said, the decision is outside of my control.
What is the policy? I'm sorry.
This is our arts
let's-
people and the
let's-
music they've created and everything, and we're not allowed to play it.
Let's pause the video, please.
James, may we pause the video, please?
I have to
Please.
tell you, I deeply apologize for that. I did reply to James, and I understand that you had commissioned or had created the work, which is integral to the film itself. My background is in copyright, and so it's my area of practice primarily. And so I would like to first, again, apologize and suggest that if you don't mind, I will seek to get this straightened out over the next month. If you wouldn't mind coming back again, I mean, I hate to put you through something, but I really would like us to see and hear together the performance, and for the community to do so also. And so to present your creative endeavor with only half of it, with only the visual without the audio, it's not something an art town should be doing. So
Kind of like us dancing without the music.
well, there you go. Right.
Missing a
Right.
little.
Right. So again, our deep apologies. We'll have you come back again with your full audio, and we will get this straightened out. And James, we're not meaning to step on your toes. We understand you don't make policy. You are our liaison, but we will make sure this policy gets straightened out.
And our council liaison Whitman is here, and I mean, this is, you know, we've had 5 liaisons, and it's not about James, you know, since I've been on the commission, and we're the only commission that has a budget and has a plan, and we're trying to implement it, and it seems like our interaction with staff lately has been more like a preventer of implementation than anything else. This is, and I'm very familiar with copyright rules on music as well. It's just simply a fear that it'll get flagged by YouTube or something. They automatically flag it. It happens to my music all the time, and all you have to do is respond and say, no, I own it, and you guys know what I'm talking about too, and it comes back. It's just how the world works right now, you know. So I certainly don't want you to see this commission as the preventers of song and dance.
Maybe not of dance. I don't like the city thinks of song.
Maybe we'll sing a song just to protest.
And audience has
I don't think we're taking from the audience now. He won't let me do that either. So
Thank you so much.
For your time.
Thank
thank you for your
you.
time. It was beautiful, and I did. And while our council liaison Whitman is here too, I also wanted and I want to acknowledge that the Libby Bowl has there's an RFP out now for managing the Libby Bowl, and it seems in the community that it has become this thing about the booking agent Sterling, but in fact our plan at the commission here, and I think support from staff, certainly from Ben, is that we need to take control of it as to who we use for booking and all. You know, that's just, you know, we can hire Sterling or anybody else to book the big musical acts, but the bowl needs to be seen, and these people did it last year, needs to be seen as a place where you can have not just concerts, but have dance, have theater, have film, have literature, storytelling, lectures, budget, something that supports a budget. Getting to the budget. Yes. Something that we can own as a community and use. And so I anticipate, I'm hopeful that you'll have some beautiful responses to the RFP to make something. Can you tell us a little bit about what the process was like with the city in terms of booking and the facilities? Like the city provided you with the sound and lights, did they?
No.
No?
We had to provide everything ourselves. So they just gave the facilities, and then we bring in all the vendors and all the contractors to make a production. So it's quite an endeavor.
Right.
But
for a budget of $30,000, which if they weren't using favors and friends and everything, it would easily be 60. It would easily be that.
Sure.
And our arts organizations deserve to be supported, not deserve to be using up favors from the community. And there's no better way for a city to give back to the people is through the arts. So,
and it's also a very a huge testament to the spirit of the Ojai Valley and the people that everyone is so willing to support one another in their artistic endeavors. I think that's really the only reason why a lot of these arts organizations have stood the test of time, is because that is very, very alive. So. Yeah, I do also hope to see a lot more local organizations making good use of the bowl and those facilities to support their artistic endeavors.
Sure. Because we want to make the arts sustainable in this valley, and when you use favors up,
yeah, You can only do
That's
that so
both
many
disrespectful
times.
and it's and that's sustainable. So we're going to talk about grants tonight, and I guess I want to influence the community to show your support, and this is a way that Ojai can bring a creative economy growth to this community without adding cars. We're using our own resources that are already here in terms of the talent in all these areas. So this is just a no-brainer for the community, and we're giving pittance to them, and we're going to talk about that tonight too. So I just want to be a voice
Thank you.
of thanks and hope that in the future we can do more. Just not only supporting the artists, but supporting the use of a facility we already have.
Yes.
And before you go, and I know you'll be back for your audiovisual piece, but is next year's festival, will it be in April again?
It will be actually May 3rd because
May
there were
3rd.
May 3rd, 2025. There were, I think the tennis tournament had their event the week prior, and then there was another event that
So you were able to book that. When did you book that?
we booked that a week ago.
Okay, good. So I was hoping that the RFP wasn't slowing
Yes.
our arts organizations down from being able to use the
May
pool.
3rd,
So
great.
that's good.
Yes.
Cindy?
Commissioner
Thank you so
Karina, you had
much.
something?
Thank you. And please excuse us, we have to run to class now. But we will be back again for another meeting. Our commissioner on Zoom, I think, just wants to say.
Go ahead, Pam.
Oh, I just wanted to say I had the honor of being at the festival this year, and it was so fabulous. And I just want to congratulate you. I'm sorry I can't be there in person tonight, but it was one of the best events of this year. So
Gosh.
I'm very grateful I got to be there.
Thank you so much. So much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
We'll have you back again.
Thank you.
That's shameful.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. The preventers of music. Okay, we probably have consent items here now. We're going to move on to. Any commissioners have any comments on the 3 sets of minutes that we've been provided?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. So, we have the August minutes, we have the April minutes, and we have the May minutes. The reason we have to look at the May minutes again is because it included something that was to have been included on the April minutes, but it wasn't brought before us when that amendation was made. So I looked at those. Those are fine. I do have a comment on the August minutes, because the August minutes repeat an element of the earlier minutes. So, James, if you take a look under presentation, the 1 to the 4th paragraph, it repeats what had been in earlier minutes because the presentation in August was made by the Film Society, and this includes something related to the earlier one, which was the library. So it's very important when we do our minutes not to simply do a cut-paste from prior minutes, but to create minutes anew so we don't have those problems. So my motion is to strike the 4th paragraph of Section 3 of the August minutes.
Okay. Maybe we can put them all together. Did you have something else?
Well, let's move on that first, and then we can.
Well, I was going to take all your comments and then just accept
that's
the
my only
minutes.
comment.
That was the only one you
I'll
have.
second it.
Well, let's see. Do you have any comments on minutes? Pamela, do you have any comments on minutes?
No, I don't at the
Okay,
moment.
so I'll just make a motion that we accept the minutes from April, May, and August.
Excuse me,
Striking paragraph 3.
4.
Chair West, before we proceed with the vote, I believe that there may be some language that needs to be done regarding the remote commissioner. The information I provided you regarding the ability for a remote commissioner to vote in the proceedings, I believe I provided.
Oh, so.
We need to.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
thank you.
Commissioner Grau, are you paying attention?
Yes, I am.
Good evening. The Brown Act authorizes members of the Arts Commission to participate in meetings remotely under certain circumstances.
Would you like me to read it?
No, I want to sigh while I do it. Assembly Bill 2449, which was signed into law by Governor Newsom on September 13th, 2022, and is effective January 1st, permits commission members to participate in commission meetings remotely when they can demonstrate just cause or emergency circumstances when a quorum of the commission is physically present in the city. Commissioner Grau is participating in tonight's meeting remotely under AB 2449. Commissioner Grau is participating under the emergency circumstances exception given
I believe it would be medical reasons.
medical reason. Commissioner Grau will be participating in tonight's meeting using AV technology per AB 2449. A commissioner participating remotely due to emergency circumstances requires commission consent. I ask if there's any opposition to this request.
No opposition.
No.
None from me. Commissioners participating remotely under AB 2449 are required to disclose at the start of the meeting whether any individuals 18 years or under are present in the room at the remote location with the commissioner and the commissioner's relationship with the individuals. Commissioner Grau, would you please confirm that you're the only person 18 years or older?
I am the only person in this room at the moment. And I'm sorry I can't be there tonight. I have COVID.
Thank you. As required by AB 2449, all votes taken tonight will be done by roll call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, got this.
Okay, so I second that motion. That
Is it
we
a motion
accept.
or was it just a reading of things? I thought.
I believe with the amendments to the minutes,
Oh, well, I'm
we
sorry.
do
I'm
we do
sorry.
have a motion. We do have a second. I believe the motion was brought forth by Vice Chair Steiner, seconded by Commissioner Wright. Before we do the vote, I will need to call roll call. If I may, roll call Commissioner Grau.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steiner.
Yes.
Chair West.
Yes.
Thank you. So the motion is to strike paragraph 4 of the August 15th minutes.
Of section 3 of the August minutes.
Of section
Paragraph
3.
4 of section 3 of the August minutes.
Thank you. May we have the vote from Commissioner Steiner?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Grau?
Yes.
Thank you. Chair West?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 4 and 1 abstention.
And did we pass the minutes too?
Yes, I believe that we may require a second motion to pass the other minutes. I believe
okay.
that was just to amend.
The motion is that we pass the minutes as amended.
Thank you. We will revise the motion, and I believe we can continue.
Don't we have to vote on that one? Oh, okay. All right. You lost me. Can I read this again?
Only at the beginning of the meeting.
All right. We're going to do ad hoc committee. Last month, we voted to use ad hoc committee again this year in the interest both because of fitting our plan and to get expertise and help from the community. And we asked Commissioner Karina to bring back a slate for us to review. And so I'll turn that over to you.
Thank you, Chair West. I am pleased to introduce the Commission's Ad Hoc Committee for the 2025 grants. Brett Bradigan, Nigel Chisholm, Julie Grist, and Sammy Zahringer. I selected these individuals for their their extensive expertise in the arts and their proven dedication to supporting Ojai's artists and arts organizations. Their diverse experiences will offer invaluable insights as we evaluate the promising grant applications. I'm honored to collaborate with them to develop our recommendations for the art commissions for the 2025 grant recipients. Thank you. I have brief bios of each of them if any of
Please,
you would like to
read them.
hear them. Brett Bradigan is the editor of Ojai Monthly and Ojai Quarterly magazines, as well as the host of the Ojai podcast Talk of the Town. In addition, he is a current board member of the Ojai Valley Land Conservancy and an advisory board member of the Ojai Music Festival. Brett is also a member of the Rotary Club of Ojai, where he has served as president and the chair of its grants committee for a number of years. The club gives upwards of $30,000 each year in community grants and over $130,000 in educational scholarships. His grants, expertise, and unique understanding of Ojai's artistic community are a welcomed contribution to the ad hoc committee. Thank you, Brett. Nigel Chisholm served for 5 years on the Ojai Arts Commission as a member, vice chair, and as chair. During his tenure, Nigel's visionary leadership fostered an environment that supports and engages local creatives. His commitment to consensus building transformed the commission into a focused, responsive, and supportive ally for Ojai's artists. His contributions continue to have a lasting impact on the cultural landscape of our city. Nigel is the owner of 3 beloved downtown businesses, further demonstrating his support for the arts across all genres. His commitment to enhancing the cultural life of Ojai has been widely recognized, culminating in receiving the prestigious Hope Fraser Award from the City of Ojai. The award honors outstanding contributions to the local arts community. Thank you, Nigel, for all that you've done and continue to do for Ojai. Julie Grist, a long-standing member of the Ojai Valley community, has made significant contributions to the region over the past 13 years she's lived here. Julie brings a wealth of experience from her decade-long career with the Asia Foundation in San Francisco. She played a pivotal role there in providing development grants to local nonprofit organizations focused on governance, education, climate action, and leadership. Throughout her career, Julie has maintained a deep commitment to the arts. Her background includes work in architectural historic preservation in Los Angeles, as well as serving as the publisher of a local newspaper dedicated to covering news and arts in the heart of the city. In addition to her professional endeavors, Julie is an avid painter and is an active member of the Ojai Studio Artists. She currently serves on their board as a technology expert overseeing the group's website and public outreach efforts. Julie Grist continues to be a vital force in the Ojai Valley, advocating for community development and the arts. Thank you, Julie. Sammy Zahringer is a freelance writer and editor who has lived, worked, and raised children in the Ojai Valley for the past 23 years. Sammy's literary and arts roots in Ojai run deep. Over the years, she has written extensively for many nonprofits, been a longtime regional theater reviewer, served on the board of Ojai Youth Opera, and held the position of City of Ojai Arts Commissioner herself for 3 years. She has volunteered for various Valley organizations, including Help of Ojai's Meals on Wheels program, the Ojai Valley Land Conservancy, the Ojai Library, and the Humane Society of Ventura County, among others. She remains involved on and off with many of these organizations still. Also, she has been the humor columnist for the Ojai Quarterly for 14 years. Sammy holds a degree in cell biology and genetics from the University of Glasgow in the UK and a degree in English literature from the University of Minnesota. She is passionate about supporting and promoting both the arts and sciences in the Valley, particularly among young people. Sammy deeply values and appreciates the breadth, depth, and caliber of artistic endeavors in Ojai and feels fortunate to live in such a vibrant town. She believes it is her duty to help maintain the community's artistic vitality, and whenever time allows, she is eager to contribute wherever possible. Thank you, Sammy. Those will be our ad hoc committee members for the 2025 grants. That's just a brief overview of their expertise.
Now, we're going to talk about the composition, direction, and timeline and that sort of thing. I don't know if we need motions and votes on these things, liaison.
Do we need to vote on the ad hoc committee?
Staff recommendation is that we provide, both discuss who will be part of the ad hoc committee, provide direction on what the methodology and what the timeline would be. That is the staff recommendation.
Okay.
How the
do you want me
commission
to talk about
chooses to
that
do
now?
so is at commission discretion.
Okay.
What I would like to do is take a vote on the composition, and then we'll move on. Let's
Yeah, I
do
think
that.
council,
Yeah,
this will
two
serve
separate
council
things.
well.
What
So do you want to make a motion? Anyone?
Yes.
Oh, we
public-
do, we'll, after the motion and the public comment? or-
Typically, it should
Okay.
be that we present the item, just the motion, staff recommendations, then we open for public comment, and then follow with commission discussion.
Okay.
Good.
So should we finish,
And yes, we do have a submission.
should we finish this whole discussion then first?
No.
This will
Discussion
just be-
should be held until after
This
public
is just
comment.
composition.
Just composition.
Okay, that's
which I
what I'm hearing.
appreciate.
All right.
Great. Let's everyone get off of their phones.
Uh,
Okay.
So would we like to open for public comment?
Yes, on 6A, right?
We do have one public comment for 6A. Yes, if you would like to just submit a card, please. But we do have one presently, which would be Michael Eastwinock.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Last year, the Arts Commission, with little or no transparency, decided to appoint an ad hoc Arts Committee, grant committee. It took all of the grant applicants completely by surprise. The subject of transparency within our city government was a very contentious one last year, to say the least. Several people of the arts community felt that 3 of the 4 ad hoc committee members, although terrific and contributing citizens of Ojai, had a true conflict of interest and should not have been serving on such a committee, deciding which organizations should receive funding. Furthermore, we believe that Smitty was discouraged just last month by Carl Alameda from forming such an ad hoc committee and strongly recommended that the process and grants decision should be made as a commission and not farmed out to an outside group. Does that mean anything? I'm asking.
Thank you, Michael. And then there's this now motion time, right?
No, we
no.
have another comment.
Yes, we
Another
have one
comment?
additional public comment from Devo Cutler.
Okay, thank you.
Who is this person? What
Thank
name?
you.
This is Devo Cutler.
Devorah Cutler, Devo
sorry.
Cutler, recent resident, longtime participant in many arts activities coming up here to contribute. So I just want to, it struck me that there are 4 people on there, all extremely qualified. I can't address a very good point that was just made, which I hope we can discuss. But I would just want to say that if there is, there's not a tiebreaker in there. So I just wondered how you determine, is there a 5th person? Is there someone on the commission that would be the tiebreaker? How do you identify the qualifications of somebody who, in that event? So that's just my question to address 4 versus 5.
Thank you. We're going to cover that, so thank you for
just-
the question.
Can I just clarify that?
Let's do that during discussion on the vote, okay?
I forgot one sentence.
Sure, why not? What the heck?
We also recommend that somebody
Wait, start
who
again, Michael?
I'm sorry. We also recommend that someone who served on last year's city council be appointed to the committee because they truly have the history of what went wrong last year. Because we don't want that, well, you all know, the recommendations got reversed by city council. That means something. There was a reason for that. And the fact that you were nominating 3 of the 4 people that were on that ad hoc committee that got reversed makes me wonder what's going on.
Thank you, Michael. So let's get a motion out, and then, there actually are 5, because
I would like to
Commissioner
clarify, I
Wright will
thought it
be
was
on
clear
that.
in my opening statement that as chair of the grants, I am on the ad hoc committee. So there are 5 total members, just as a point of clarification.
Well, my motion will reflect that. I move that we accept the 4 candidates from the community and Karina Wright as the ad hoc committee for the grants recommendations this year.
I second that motion.
Discussion. I'm going to start a little discussion. Just say that we chose last year, and we thought it was a good decision, and we think we just didn't do it with the transparency that certain council members wanted. And so this year, I feel like we've gone overboard in that transparency, way beyond what anything in the Brown Act requires, and all to first last month elect to use an ad hoc committee, and then this month to talk about the makeup of the committee, and we're going to have a discussion about giving them direction, because ultimately it's the Arts Commission's recommendation, and we can accept what the ad hoc committee brings to us, or we can change it. We can do whatever we want as we send our recommendations up to council, who absolutely has the right with the people's money to do what they want as well. So, but then I feel like we're being transparent with this, and at the end of the day, these are just recommendations from the committee. I thank them profusely, and yes, we use the same people as we did last year because I think they're good people, and we just are trying to do it better here from the commission standpoint. And we look forward to hearing the recommendation and reviewing it in public as well.
Committee?
Any more discussion? Yes, Pamela.
Hi, I'd like to add a comment, just to sort of appease Michael's concerns that what happened last year wasn't negative about the ad hoc committee. It was just the way that it was presented to the public. And I think Karina did a wonderful job tonight disclosing all their qualifications. I think it's very transparent. I think these people deserve another chance because of the misunderstandings last year with the grant application and the process. So I would go along with what Karina's offering tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Grau. Commissioner Steiner, anything to say?
Yes, thank you. I thought it would be helpful to sort of unwind this a bit and review the background here. So the purpose of the ad hoc committee, which was frankly appropriately impaneled last year, was to extend the reach of this commission to involve the community in these important grants discussions and to garner the expertise of members of the community who have grants experience. Those were very worthy objectives. Those are, again, the objectives of this year. Specifically, this group has expertise. In fact, they did a very good job last year, and this commission supported their efforts last year. The impairments, as Commissioner Grau mentioned, were wholly our own, wholly the Arts Commission's, not the ad hoc committee's problems and deficiencies. We could have provided a fuller description of the ad hoc committee and its purposes, as we are doing this evening, and thank you for that, Commissioner Wright. We could have had a fuller discussion of the grants recommendations, not only to take in the ad hoc committee's recommendations, but to make our own recommendations more fully discussed, which we shall do this upcoming time. What happened last year had much to do with the eventual resignation of one of the members and a new commissioner stepping in at the last minute. Things were sort of hurried, but in every way, this commission was behind the recommendations of the ad hoc committee, and I fully supporting them again. And in response to one of the public comments, I would simply mention that this Arts Commission vigorously disagreed at that time and continues to disagree with the council action. We thought that the recommendations that were made were wholly appropriate, and we look forward to this next grant cycle.
Commissioner Wright?
I think it's really important to underscore that the ad hoc committee is a layer of information that is being provided on the grants. It's a recommendation to the Arts Commission, which then is a recommendation to the City Council. The ad hoc committee is not making the final decisions. And I think that's really important to understand. Thank you.
Or even decisions. Or even decisions for that matter. It's merely recommendations. It's advice. It's advice to this commission.
And we are really trying to engage the community, and we're trying to engage the community of artists and arts organizations and arts advocates. And creating an ad hoc committee fosters really good relationships with everybody in Ojai. And it's not supposed to be a divisive mechanism. It's supposed to be more inclusive. And if we can garner the input of 4 more people on this process, why wouldn't we do that? That really should be the question.
Right. Our plan and our plan is, and I don't think I could find someone in Ojai that would like to see less grants go to arts, to our arts community, and we picked a model that's very common. It's the model that the Ventura County uses for their grants to use an ad hoc committee, and they supported our process and would like, we want this number to grow and grow and grow. For it to grow, we have to show responsibility, and this is a stellar group of people, and we hope to populate the committee, make a larger committee or a broader committee when we have more money in the future to do that. So if we have no more comments, can we have a roll call?
Yes, we may. The motion we have before us is to approve the composition of the ad hoc committee as stated by Commissioner Wright. We have I believe that this motion was brought forward by Vice Chair Steiner, seconded by Commissioner Wright. Was that correct?
I thought Smitty made the motion and
I made the motion.
seconded it.
Thank you for your correction. We have, Smitty has brought forward, our Chairperson West has brought forward the motion, and Vice Chair Steiner has seconded. Roll call. Chair West.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steiner.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Yes.
And I will ask that we restate how you will be moving on the motion. This is just the roll call. We will be required to do roll call before every vote due to having a remote member. To confirm the individual votes, Vice Chair Steiner, how would you vote on this motion?
I don't understand.
Didn't I already?
We're required to do roll call before every vote when we have a remote participant on the commission.
But didn't
So
you
we just did it.
Didn't you?
That
you
was just roll call.
And what is this?
This is how you will be voting on this motion.
Well, I voted yes, and I continue to vote yes.
Thank you
Am I
very
doing
much.
that properly?
Yes, the first
Okay.
is just roll call to verify that you are present. The second is to see how you will be voting on the motion as it is before you.
See, very formal.
Did we do that with the minutes?
How exciting.
We did.
We did, yes. Next we have Commissioner Grau.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Thank you. And then we have Chair West.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. 4 with 1 absent.
We have a discussion item here to give direction methodology timeline as well. I don't know we need to vote on this, but I do want to have a public discussion on what is the instructions that we're going to give to the ad hoc committee. Do you want to lead us in that, Commissioner
Sure.
Wright?
Thank you. Yes, as outlined here in item 6A are the 9 criteria set forth by the city for grants applications. Using that as a basis, this is how grants are decided. The Arts Commission will direct the ad hoc committee to follow these criteria when they review the applications.
I don't know that we need to list them all. They're in the
Okay.
actual statute and all
Do I
too.
need to
But
read them?
I wanted, let's have some discussion about
And-
the,
Well, I mean, let's.
do you want to?
Let's read them, sure. I mean, people don't necessarily spend their time looking at the statutes.
Okay.
I think a quick read through would be very helpful.
Okay. Number 1, clarity, originality, and depth of the idea presented in the proposal. 2, qualifications of artists, collaborators, and other key people involved in the project. 3, project's potential effectiveness in addressing a specific community need. 4, soundness of the project plan, including budget and timeline. 5, consistency with the organization's mission and goals. 6, organization's demonstrated ability to successfully carry out past projects. 7, organization's strength and role in the community, including its financial health and ability to raise funds as needed. 8, strength and stability of the organization's management and leadership, or strength and appropriateness of fiscal receiver, if applicable. 9, feasibility that the project can be completed if only partial amount of funds requested are awarded. Given these criteria, plus all of the information collected on the application, which many of you here are familiar with, is extensive in inquiring about how you're going to successfully complete your art endeavor. We are also going to be using, and this would be a quantifiable and objective method to evaluate this criteria. Last year they used a scoring rubric to do so, and it is my intention to do the same this year. There are a couple different possibilities. Maybe we could discuss them here tonight. There are scoring rubrics on a scale of 0 to 100. There's one 0 to 5. I'm leaning towards the 0 to 100, but you know, it's pretty hard to use a scoring rubric because all of these criteria are so important. So I thought before I solidify the rubric that we might want to have a quick discussion about what is the priority in this list.
Well, I'm sorry.
I have suggested, I kind of condensed this because it's a little repetitive. And just a sample mock-up scoring rubric would look like the criteria would be artistic merit, project feasibility, impact, qualifications of artists and their team, alignment with grant goals, organizational capacity, sustainability, diversity, and inclusion. And I would direct the ad hoc committee to consider the description of these criteria. For example, quality, originality, and creativity of the artistic concept or project. I gave that 20 points. Again, this is just a draft. Thinking 20 points, that's the highest, the most important, artistic merit. Project feasibility. Is their application clear? realistic? Is the timeline solid? Do they have a budget? Is it achievable? Impact, potential benefit to the community, audience, and artistic field. Qualifications, experience, skills, and expertise of the key individuals involved. Alignment with grant goals, how well the project aligns with the goals of the granting organization, city council, town of Ojai. Applicant's ability to execute the project based on past performance and resources. We look at their career, the organization's schedule, their history, etc. Sustainability, how long, is this potential of this project to continue? I threw in this diversity inclusion. I think it's important, especially I was really glad to hear the Dance Ojai talk about it. Does your grant application promote inclusion, engage diverse communities, or represent marginal voices? So using this as sort of the baseline for the scoring rubric, we can assign points based on what we think are the most important things. I did rank them in what I thought are the most important things and gave them points.
Commissioner Stein?
First, congratulations. I think that's really impressive to take what's really so inherently subjective and identify this objective criteria. And I agree with you that merit is the most important. In fact, it's really all about merit, but you have quantified a particular aspect of merit within the merit as a whole. With regard to your question about 0 through 5 versus 0 through 100, so I taught law school for many years, where where 1 year I tried grading essays on basically a 1 to 5 rather than my usual 100, and I found that it didn't allow for as much elasticity and objectivity. So I think you're better off with a 100 as you look at that, rather than basically breaking it out with 20% increments. But again, congratulations. I think this is really impressive.
And I just want to point out that we would have a scoring key. So it would be excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor, based on the total points of the ad hoc committee. That will be the basis for determination for grants.
Well, the way I feel about it is we have a good committee. We have good representation and leadership from Commissioner Wright. We give these guidelines, and ultimately the committee will come up with something. It comes back to us, but you'll be at that meeting and be able to, if we have any questions about how did this get or that, you'll be able to personally defend that here in public during our public meeting. So I'm not as concerned with the scoring method and that sort of thing. I would just, if I'm going to add, instructions to the committee, is that not only looking at the individuals on the merit too, but because we have such a limited amount of money, we have to look at, it's like a college admissions staff. They look at the individuals, but they're really creating a class. So I want to, and sometimes someone with perfect SAT scores doesn't get in because they didn't need another soccer player from the South or something, or so.
Perfect SATs.
So I want to make sure we can defend the group of grants as well, that we're being fair to all the arts, that we're being fair to startups versus people who have been here before. We've already voted to suspend that 3-year rule for this year. We did that last time. So I would like them to be comfortable and not feel too constrained in that we ultimately we're going to review it and approve it anyways. So
I think it's really exciting. There's so much you can do with grants going forward. We can work on it starting in January. We can have divisions of grants. We can have funding levels of grants. There's many different ways that we can categorize this and keep making this a more robust
good and growing
system.
it so that we want
And I have for my ad hoc Committee. I want the city to know that these criteria, I have it broken down here with bullet points for them to consider while they are assessing the criteria. Just, for example, looking at their ability to successfully carry out a project, we would look at, this seems so obvious to me, but I'm just going to say it. We're going to look at the number of completed projects. We're going to look at their measured outcomes. It's, we're going to look at numbers, like Dance of Ojai just said their numbers of how many people they served, et cetera. So it's a very detailed system for reviewing grants. It's, standard.
And I'm just going to color this a little bit before we kind of send you on your way a little bit for Council Liaison Whitman too. We've studied other best practices as well. And just for example, Simi Valley, we also have a budget for education this year, and we plan to have a series of seminars for artist professionals on grant writing. We had one last year, but we're going to have one specifically on how to apply to Ojai for a grant, not just general grant writing. Simi Valley has about over 100,000 in their arts grants that they use every year, and they actually require the recipients of the grants to attend the educational seminars to make them better vocational artists in their communities as well. So I'm not advocating that we do that here, but I just want to say that we're trying to build something that can grow to 100,000 pretty fast if we're going to be an arts community here. This is a lot of work and a lot of detail for a couple $1,000 grants that are going out there. But it truly is our hope to give more and give back, and because that's the creative economy that we want to build here in this city. Thank you, Commissioner Steiner.
I just wanted to piggyback on the amount of money here, and Councilman Whitman, maybe you can bring this back to the council, that this is a very small amount of money for a community that's an arts community. The other point I wanted to make, and I want to play a bit of devil's advocate here. So this is a community of creatives and overachievers, and we have to keep in mind that it's harsh to hear no, especially when so much effort and so much time is put into a grant. And so I recognize that we have to discuss this in public, but it still is not, it's simply in a way not polite. And so I don't know quite how we manage that. I think in a way we managed it last year by all of us reading all of those grants and feeling in both our hearts and our minds that what the ad hoc committee did was accurate in terms of assessment of merit, and that we didn't have to sort of pick those grants apart and embarrass the potential grantees. And so I'm not quite sure how we balance that embarrassment. Maybe we don't. Maybe we do have a thoroughgoing discussion of merit and how we determine it. But again, for a world of overachievers, this is a bit harsh.
Well, this is why just one more thing about the rubric. This is a structured way to evaluate people, and it's fair and it's clear, and it makes the decision-making much more straightforward. And I think that people knowing that that is in place, people will understand the results a bit better. It is my hope.
And then I hope that the city council will understand better and will
That's what I'm saying.
will support the recommendations of this commission.
Right, because these will be comprehensible and quantifiable assessments of the grants. I have a copy of this if you would like.
Yes, we would very much like a copy. Thank you.
Okay, I don't, this is just some direction we're given.
One quick timeline, as we discussed.
Well, I was gonna, can we do that when we talk
Yeah.
about the submission time? Or,
Well,
but go ahead.
Part of this
Go.
discussion is a timeline in which the committee would offer the recommendation to the commission. We have it set for November 21st meeting.
Of the ad hoc committee. No,
is
this
when
meeting.
Is when the ad hoc committee will meet, will have, the Arts Commission will have the recommendations of the ad hoc committee in time for them to consider for the November 21st meeting. That's the expectation.
Right. Great. I got no problem with that.
On my calendar.
I'm going to move on. There's nothing to vote here. This is just direction we're giving them. We'll be voting when the recommendations come back, and we'll all review all the applications as well.
I would also like to add that if the city has a matrix that they would recommend, I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, I know.
You can forward that to me.
At direction of the staff, we could develop one. To my knowledge, at present, we do not have a rubric readily available.
Okay, good.
Let's
Well,
go with Karina's.
Yes,
got
I
one
like
here.
yours,
It's
Corinne.
brilliant.
Got one here.
I know that Owen David Yoshitomi from the County Arts and Culture Commission was here and reviewed those and said that's standard practice. Okay, I did not put 6B on the schedule. Did you request that, Commissioner Wright? The grant submission timeline? Because we're set right now for September 31st. Okay.
That was provided a public agenda, and it may have been staff oversight. If so, our apologies. The recommendations from the staff on that was provided because we presently only have 2 applications that are present in the grants applications. One of the 2 is actually a test case to verify that the system is functional. So we presently only have 1 application.
And what's the deadline?
End of the month.
Presently, end of the month,
so,
yes.
So we're only halfway through the month. I mean, speaking for myself, I don't do anything until the last day, and I can imagine that this group of overachievers is actually the same way. So I can't imagine that we would not be getting our a rather robust group of applications by the end of the month.
Okay.
I
Let
will-
me give me my bit, and then yes, and there's a certain respectability I want to have too. We've come up with a timeline, and I'm hearing in the community people are excited and preparing it, and I anticipate a robust application from what I'm hearing in the community. For us to be, last year we changed it and extended it, and that actually created some problems. So I'd like to be good bureaucrats here and see what. See what we can do. What do you think?
Just reading the staff background that is written here, it doesn't sound like you understood that the original deadline was September 30th, and it was only changed to October 30th after the fact.
You're talking about last year?
So it wasn't a larger window last year. It became a larger window.
Correct. It was extended last year,
Yeah.
which is where the staff recommendation to extend the window, we considered that and brought forward this
Do
recommendation.
we have public comment on this, 6B? I feel
Yes,
like we-
actually. Moving to the next item, we have presented that the staff recommendation on 6B is that the Grants Commission provide direction to staff to increase the application window. That is of course, at the Commission's direction. That is the recommendation. Would we like to open this for public comment? I believe we have one
Sure.
public comment at this time.
Yes.
Yes, that will be Michael Eastwinick.
There is an error in the report contained in the agenda. The original deadline for last year was not October 31st, as was written. It was Friday, September 22nd, close of business. Many organizations met that original deadline. In fact, enough of them with a total of monies requested being $47,000. For an available money of $29,500. So then by extending the deadline 5 more weeks, more people and organizations requested another $91,000. So the city council had to step in and voted to split the $29,500. So since the deadline is still 12 days away for 2025, why are you extending it already when you might have all the applicants you need that follow the rules and meet the deadline? If you take a vote in the city and some people feel, oh, I forgot to vote or I didn't get to it, you don't extend the deadline. That doesn't make sense. It's not fair. It's not judicial. And I also will say, it saddens me, and it's going to sadden many other people greatly, that none of the 4 of you, including Pam, don't see a conflict of interest in a member of the ad hoc committee who financially supports 2 of the applicants as a sponsor is a conflict of interest. Christine, you're a lawyer. Isn't that conflict of interest? I mean, if I had somebody that was sponsoring $10,000 for me, for my charity, I certainly would not expect that person to be admitted on an ad hoc committee to decide the monies. That's not prudent.
Thank you, Michael. There's no motion. I'm not going to make a motion on extending.
Can I just make a statement
Well,
that
you don't have to, but
I would like to,
Mhm.
that this administrative report was a recommendation of the city. It had nothing to do with the Arts Commission. We did not put this item on the agenda. We are not suggesting to extend the deadline. We laid out a timetable at our August meeting that fit very well with getting the recommendations to City Council in time for them to ratify them and announce the grants in January. I don't believe that extending the deadline is fair, especially if you do it on September 30th, when everybody has already gotten their proposals in. That is not what we want to do. And we didn't want to do it last year. It was on recommendation of the City Council then as well.
Okay, I don't see anyone moving to do that here. I don't see anyone
So
moving to do that.
we're not going to extend it.
Well,
Oh, well,
you don't
we're
know that.
discussing it. We're discussing it.
I think, right, good. We don't have a motion on that unless Pamela has something. I would like to take this time to say that we've really worked in good faith to push things ahead. Any delays that are occurring in terms of the advertising has been coming from the staff. We've not been able to advertise this. It's still, I requested a social media. It's just in one place. We've been. It seems like we're not getting the kind of support and encouragement from the staff. I've been getting, well, I know you requested. That's what I hear. Our liaison says I requested it, but we're just not getting it. So, but we're not allowed to write our own ads, and is what we're hearing. So I hear you, Michael, and this is not the commission's position on this. So let's, unless someone's going to move to extend, we can move on.
Well, I'm certainly not moving to extend. You're all singing my song. But I do want to echo what you were saying, Smitty. We don't seem to be appropriately advertising these grants. I'm hearing from a number of people that this is the first they had heard about it when I speak with them. So we should have social media blasts, we should have articles, we should let everyone know that these grants are available, and we should ask the city council for more money. But how can we ask the city council for more money when the city isn't, doing its part? So please, James, we know you're new, but we urge you to make sure that you work every angle to let the entire community know about these grants.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes.
As I mentioned in some correspondence to this effect, the communications, while we will assist by allowing access to the city's outlets. We do actually have in the handbook guidelines that communications are a responsibility of the commission. We will provide our outlets. We do ask that the advertisements we are provided with a copy to provide to the community. We have actually provided this through multiple newspaper outlets, through our social media, and whether or not they choose to publish them is at their discretion, as we've provided in previous communications.
All right, how's it working?
I would like to ask you if I'm missing something here in terms of the need to extend the deadline from the city's point of view because of a slow start, or I don't know, if you want to add anything to this.
Well, we're past that.
It's a dead article.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
All right, good. So let's see what happens. And I was texting and driving today and just
Don't do
putting
that again.
putting text on my social media page to go to the city website. I just said, go to the city website, because I didn't even have something that I could copy over there to apply for grants. And I don't think it would be inappropriate for us to communicate to our arts organizations. Excuse me. We can communicate directly to our arts organizations in the town. We know who they are. Let's show them what the commission can do. All right. Are you with us, Pam?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely, you are. All right, let's move on to commissioner updates. That was it on public comments on that thing. Commissioner Steiner, Public Art. I'm sorry, can I come back? Because I don't know. We're going to talk about it in the budget report. When are we going to talk about how much money these guys actually get? Is that in the budget? Will that become later?
I believe the budget report is 9D. I believe that next on the agenda.
Liaison Whitman, this has been we were told by a council person and 2 staff people that we got what we requested, $40,000, and then when we requested the budget, again and again and again, and it wasn't until now, since the budget, that we received it in hand, and it says $30,000, and so but it also says $77,000.
Right,
so.
we hope that's a typo because there are certain other typos, and we hope that we are at 40, not 30.
I would mention that if we could ask that the audience refrain.
Liaison Siri.
One thing that I might mention is item 7, I believe, would be next, which would be commissioner updates.
Yes.
We agree that's where we are.
I mean, will we be able to address this during staff liaison report?
I believe the budget report will be 9D.
Yes. But because our grants committee is going to work, and they'll probably want to know how much money they have to spend too. Okay. Commissioner Steiner, Public Art.
Okay, Public Art. So I have no update as such. It's been quiet on the public art front. What we're looking forward to is our joint meeting with City Council. At that point, we will discuss item by item the conservation report that we received from Cura Arts for 2 reasons. The first is so the community can fully see all of the public art in our community and its current state, and also so that the City Council can have a sense as well of what public art there is and its condition, because we're going to need money to address certain condition issues. That is my full public art report.
That's good. And it was $65.50 in the budget that I can see for public art. And I think that was a good. Last year, Andy, we spent about $6,500 in doing an assessment of all our public art. I'll remind you, and we want to give that report to council in the appropriate time. Yeah, well, that's all I can do. I have the floor. Hey, Pam, you want to talk about arts education? I see $6,000 for you.
Thank you. Actually, I would like to be put on the agenda for next month. I will send you a report, but I have been working on a mentorship ad that I want to place to start pairing artists with mentors, students with professional artists. And I have something I've put together, but I did forget to get it agendized for tonight, and I knew the grants were on. Also, for the art education program, I've had conversations with Wendy at the museum. We're going to schedule 4 dates this upcoming from the fall to next year. And I will have all that to present next month.
We'll look forward to that. Commissioner Wright, grants,
Pam, I hope you feel better.
I've heard enough.
You probably heard enough from me tonight, but I did want to bring up the desire to implement a grants workshop for our community. I know, Pam, you organize these, so I just want to make sure that we continue having those, especially for our grant, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Something like that, so I was kind of envisioning maybe a July kind of press release, get ready for grants 2026, and we could do a workshop, in July,
Maybe
August.
Yeah.
At Kent
No, I
Hall
agree.
or
That would be great. Yeah.
something like that. Just put it in your,
Yes.
notes. Yes, obviously I want clarification on the grants. We were told, we had asked for $40,000 for the grants, which was a modest ask considering we had over $100,000 in requests for grants last year. So I do want clarification on that. And I just want to make sure everybody's clear on the grants timeline.
Karina, I know for sure that there are grants being written right now that will be coming in within the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I am not concerned. I think we all know the trend when it comes to submitting grants. Or anything. Taxes.
For example.
Thank
Among
you,
many
Commissioner Wright. Commissioner Leeds is in here. I did look at finally got to see the beautiful job. I talked to council person Rachel about the Kent Hall fixer-uppers, and it's so pretty what they did, but it's so ugly, that white screen behind you guys, those bifold doors. That's the only thing that seems to get on the camera, despite all the beautiful work we did in there. So, and I think that the IT department told me that they have terrible trouble with white balance on their projections anyway. So I told her to, you guys need to ask our help to do something better than those white bifold storage doors back there. I also we had David Yoshitomi from the county came up, and we had a little meeting with the technology people here on staff about discussion about some best practices and guidelines and understanding about what we can do to take the whole strategic plan, to take the grant process, to take our communications, to take our educations, and have a very kind of in-depth and fluid hub and spokes, both online to reflect the activities that we do. There's money for this. I attended I mentioned the CME Arts Commission. I spoke with Palmdale about some of their practices as well, and I attended part of the State Arts Commission meeting that they had in Bakersfield last week. There's our assembly person with a dimple. Steve Bennett, is on the Arts Commission at the state. And so there's money out there for grants for cities to do technology, to do arts programs, to beautify their cities, to enhance their encampments that they're building for our homeless communities. There's money out there right now, and there's there's best practices as well. So I'm taking this Arts Commission out to look for these ideas in the community as well. So that's just part of the strategic planning. Future agenda items. I know we have when is our meeting when the grants come back? September 21st was our meeting, or was that the November? Mhm.
The October 17th meeting,
Mhm.
I believe is the right date, is when we are inviting applicants
Yes,
to
that's it.
come to our meeting. We can answer.
So next month, we want the applicants are going to give their presentations. We've always done that. We want to, Pamela, Commissioner Grau will give her plan for the education seminar series and the mentor program for the year. So let's make sure those on are next month. Anyone else have anything else for next month that we can preempt that? So I'm going to be, by Thursday, the week before our meetings, I will have contacted all the commissioners to see if you have anything, and then I'll be having a meeting with James, liaison, on the Friday before to work up the agenda to the meetings, and then the announcements, and we'll have a draft that we can look at then before the announcement goes out on the Monday before the meeting. So that's going to be a timeline that the liaison and myself have come up with.
If I may, 1 week would give us a little more workable time since we meet on Thursdays. If we could have that meeting on a Thursday.
Thursday. Maybe that's what we said. Is that what we said?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to talk to you before Thursday each month too.
Speaking of Thursdays, if I may, so our next meeting is October 17th, and Ojai Day is 2 days later, October 19th. And again, we are an arts city. I would like us to think about whether there's anything we can do, and certainly we can't bring it up on the 17th, 2 days away, but we should probably have the tour brochures. I know you're working on that. Is there an update?
We don't have the update prepared at this time. We have received an estimate where we would like to bring as a future agenda item for the Commission's approval to have those reprints prepared. We received the estimate, I believe, last Friday.
So what you're saying then is we can't do this until the meeting on the 17th, which means that they will not be available for Ojai Day on the 19th. Is that correct?
We would advise that we bring this before the commission. At the same time, I would mention I can review the procedures for spending.
I'm going to interrupt and just say, well, the council liaison Whitman is here. These are there's art tours for our public art and the brochures that goes in the hotels, and we just ran out, and. It just seems to me like it's just an item for the city to get some more printed. We're not rewriting it or anything.
Why can't we just photocopy them? Let's, we don't have to, let's, they ought to be available.
Shouldn't be an
It should
item
not
to
be
vote
To
Should
me,
not
your
be
arts commission is
bureaucratic.
doing our planning and new things. This is like having the,
This came up
toilet paper in
because
the restroom.
this came up because I had a meeting with the director of the Ojai Museum, and she showed me this is the very last pamphlet at the Ojai Welcome Center of Ojai's public art tour, self-guided tour, and
Just bring them to the business center and have them reprinted. We
Okay,
really.
I think
hold on.
we've made
Hold on a
our
second.
point here, but I'm sure James
I'm like
will.
an expert at getting things printed inexpensively. Do you have a quote for us? Can we hear what the price is and then vote tonight whether we should do it?
I found the guy that laid it out.
Carlos Grosso.
Carlos, yeah.
And and then they found who the printer was in Oxnard, and the printer just gave us some new. I thought we'd just get 1,000 or just get the city to get 1,000.
I don't think we need to vote on, or let's vote on it now. Let's just do it already.
If I believe that we would recommend we agendize the item. That said, I would like to review our spending policies. I believe that was provided by the previous liaison, but as long as we follow the policies and procedures and at the direction of the commission, we can get these reprinted. We would advise that it goes before the commission so that we can have visibility on all spending. That said, I believe that the policies and procedures for spending have been provided, and as long as we follow those guidelines, there should be no issue with getting this purchased. I believe I've also, in previous communications, communicated that this is something that would probably be very well categorized in our budget, this commission's budget, under communications. So we do have the budget for it. I have provided the estimate. I will provide an update on how to request the spending, and we should be able to go forward from there.
So
You mean we can't do it tonight?
yeah, let's just vote on it tonight. I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying, James.
I don't
Are you
either.
saying that we have to vote next month and that we can't vote this month?
I would advise it as an
Okay.
agendized item. That would be
But
my
we did-
recommendation.
but we discussed
To me,
it
the
last
commission,
time
if we
too.
were rewriting it or something, it had new
Yeah,
content
we're
or
not
something.
even
This
changing it.
is just printing. It's like if
I believe the idea is just so that we can have record of the recommendation to perform the spendings. That said,
it's
I
actually
would.
been like 2 years.
It's-
Yeah. Just to print brochures for
You know
public
what?
art tour.
Run it off on the photocopy
$500
machine.
bucks.
We brought
need
this
to
up,
have
we
it
brought this up
before.
in June.
That
And
does predate me as
I
liaison.
understand. It just seems like a very basic, it seems like a city expense. I don't even think it should fall on the Arts Commission, but if we have it in our budget, I guess we will provide. But this is one of the baseline informational pamphlets that is a welcome point when you get to Ojai. And that the city would want it to be absent is beyond me. And maybe it says here in my handbook that I so graciously received this evening that it's up to us to maintain the public information pamphlets regarding art. We can do that going forward, but at this point, as Christine pointed out, we have Ojai Day coming. The museum is lacking in information about the arts here in Ojai. And can we do something about it?
See, Andy, we're going to add to our strategic plan to actually have an art staff person here. Because what now with a liaison, what we get, and we love you, James, but what we get is there's stuff that's all set that we're doing, and but we can't do it without staff. But every time we go to staff, the sense we get is that we feel like, oh, there's more important things than the Arts Commission. I mean, that's really the feel that we get. And if we just do it this way or go by your procedures and which keep changing, and it doesn't feel comfortable. Most cities have a staff person who is that would have an arts budget, would have a staff person that handles the arts, at least part-time. So this is just,
Smitty?
yes,
Oh,
Pam.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking online right now, and for $200, I can get 1,000 printed. Is there any reason I couldn't personally get them printed?
Probably.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest the same, Pam. If
You
we
printed
can
our
put
little
in,
name
if we can
tags.
put in for spending between now and October 17th meeting, would that be a way to work around the vote and get this done?
Through
See,
the
the
chair.
city can just go do this. They don't need to have a council meeting to order brochures.
Through the chair.
Yes.
My understanding is that we have previously provided the policies and procedures for doing spending. Our recommendation on all spending is that it should go through the commission so that there is public visibility and the ability for public comment. On smaller expenditures, that may not be the case. In terms of who we go to for printing at the chair's direction, I did follow up with the previous printing to get the initial estimate. This was only, the initial material was provided to me roughly 1 week ago. We have provided that update, and we are happy to assist in every way we can. Thank you.
James, we're not. Don't take it personally. I'm just.
no,
we have no
Everybody gets
brochures, and
It is.
the brochure should be on the city computer, and it probably is, but no one can find it.
But
And if
the
you
city
got it
couldn't
a
even find the brochure.
Right, and if you got it a week ago, it could have been on the agenda. and then we could have voted on it, and then we could have them by Ojai
Yes,
Day.
had I had it a week ago, but I only
No, I know
barely
you've got a
received
lot
the
going on.
request.
No, don't take it personally,
Yeah, don't
but,
take it
but
personally.
we're just,
It's a level of
this
frustration.
is our
we
commission working
have.
for the people, trying to get this stuff done, and
And trying to
no other
promote the
commission has
arts.
brochures, you know, that's, it's not ours, it's the city's, you know, so.
Minnie, is there any reason I couldn't, as a private citizen, get some made and then we, in small quantity for Ojai Day?
Pam, we would love you to do that. Why don't you go ahead and do it, no matter what, that way
Smitty
they're
says.
available. You know, it may be a copyright violation, but I think it would be fair use.
Okay.
I actually have the, what is that program you use, Pam?
Illustrator or Photoshop or InDesign?
Yeah, InDesign. I got the InDesign files too. I give the city the PDF. But, you know, if there's any typos or anything, I'll get them to you tomorrow.
Frankly, the city should have had that all along.
Let's
I mean,
apply for a grant.
Why the artist
They
who
do
was
somewhere back
contracted to
there.
do the brochures didn't turn that over to the city, I don't understand. So let's make sure the city gets and remains in possession of that.
Let's move on. I kind of wanted to make a stink, okay? Just
done.
because, all right. Staff liaison report?
Yes, item 9A, we have just today closed the request for qualifications for qualified art consultants.
Yesterday, right?
That is correct, thank you. With that, we are still reviewing all of the submissions. Some have gone to the previous liaison, some to myself. With the initial counts, we have approximately 10 to 15 submissions at this time.
Where did you advertise it? That's where we advertise our grants. Huh?
My understanding is that this posting was posted to the locations brought to us by the commission, including LA Culture, Net Listserv, the Public Art Exchange, and PAC SoCal.
Great.
And just for education, we, anyone doing a development in the city has to use for their art portion of their development, they have to use qualified art consultants. And the city is required to keep an updated list of those. And so we've been trying for a couple of years to get that updated, and it sounds like we're getting them.
It
So
sounds like we're getting there. And the city has been woefully out of compliance with that statute for years now. So it sounds like we'll get that firmed up, and that's great. Thank you, James.
please go on.
Yes, for item 9C, we reached out to the Community Development Department for any updates on current CAPA projects. We have no reportable updates at this time.
James, there's a point I want to make on this. In former agenda items, each month, we would have a running tally of what projects there were. Have you seen such a matrix in the past?
I have not seen that from previous review. I have reached out to the commission, to the Community Development Department to see if there was any update or change. No initial report additional report was generated, as we have no reportable change at this time.
Well, tell you what I'll do. I'll go back and look at my materials and see if I can find a prior agenda that contains this form, so you'll know what it is. And what I would like, and if we have to vote on it, we can, I would like it attached to all of our agenda items. I found
We
it
used to
very
get that every
helpful.
month. Luis gave that to us every month.
Yeah,
And also the budget update.
and
All right.
so did Robin, and so did Weston, and I'd like it to continue, not just for us, but for the public as well, because we should watch this as it goes through the cycle. Do you think we can have that by next month?
I would be happy to review the materials, and I believe we would be happy to provide updates on that. Presently, my review has only extended about 1 year back.
Okay, budget?
Well, okay, I don't understand.
I mean,
what
it's.
For the
no,
budget?
it's no,
Whatever.
it's nothing, yeah.
For the budget, we did receive the request to have the Arts Commission budget brought to the commission. We have that attached as attachment A.
Can you tell me the difference between these items, the 023s, 1 through 9, and then the arts acquisition, that 013 on the second page?
I can provide
Arts
my-
acquisition, city, there's 30,000 for arts acquisitions on the second page.
My understanding is that the second page is special funds. I believe that that is generated from, I believe that that may be through Capita Generation. That said, if at the request of the commission, we can request from the finance department to have an explanation of the different funds and
All
their
right, well,
purposes.
we have our budget, and we have a total, Arts Commission Department total, 77,650, all right? And in there, there's like 30,000 for, I think there was an error made, and they were trying to give us a raise in technology, because that's what I heard, and we asked for 40,000 in the grants, and I just think that it didn't get into this document. And I don't suspect the council drilled down to this depth on $70,000 for the Arts Commission here too, though, because if indeed, as I was told by you, that what's here is what's been approved by the council.
There were some reports that were found that stated that I believe there were requests made for 40,000. I have put in inquiries to see if we can find where any additional communications to that effect. What we have found is what is before you is the budget that was adopted by the city council.
Yeah. See, I could put in an inquiry. I wish someone could just give us answers when we had something.
We had put in with the previous staff liaison at a meeting our requests by category.
Right.
And we were told after the city council budget that it was approved. So
Grants, technology, public art,
right,
communication,
and
education.
we had
health.
also streamlined.
Yeah.
We had streamlined the categories. I don't have my notes from that meeting with me tonight because I was trying to lighten my load, but we have them, and I don't understand the confusion. And I would like to point out that it's really confusing and upsetting, especially when we send out a press release about the arts grants that states very clearly in the opening paragraph that due to the increased volume of grants last year, the city has increased their grants budget. I don't know if you heard that, Andy, but we wrote in the press release that we increased the grants budget, which is what we were led to believe, at what we were told in response to the unprecedented amount of grants applications. And one, I would really like that money allocated to grants within this 77,000. And or why include that in the press release? It just, again, just makes this not
Okay,
as
I
seamless
think-
as we would like.
Yeah, no, is your report over, James?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm going to go into my comment, because my comment in overall, I think that's where we are. I was just going to go first. Your commission here, David and Pamela, and who aren't here but are listening, these are like leaders in the community, and not just in art, but in getting stuff done too. And they've got on this commission to do stuff because they think maybe we can do our visiony things about art with government, with Ojai city government, That's not the only way to do stuff. Some cities have institutes or big donors or that sort of thing. But we got these people's attention here, and we have energy, and we've done, I feel like, our proper communication with council to get stuff we want to do approved, and so we have like our plan and our budgets approved, but then we just run into the typical, what people complain about, kind of snafus. These people, commissions have been here, some of the members, for years. We've had 7 liaisons, we want to use our momentum. I'm afraid we'll lose good commissioners who are just going to say, well, I can apply to the county or the state for a grants program to do arts grants in the city, or some, there's other ways we could do it. These people are volunteers to try to make government work good for the people in an area that we all love and respect. And so I want to keep them, and because I think our plan is good, and I think Ojai has to step up in terms of government and show that arts are important and can be a unifying force. So we're going to have a new council seated, and we'll continue to do our work to try to move things ahead. But the impediment that we have right now is we're like big boys now, the way we're organizing our art and government, but with no one with any, there's no one helping us. You know what I mean? I'm getting, James is our liaison, but he's just putting in requests and taking things up the ladder, and that, we could do that. That's not really what we need. The other way to do this is that it is the whole Arts Commission functions can be assigned to staff. Because then at least people can say, hey, can I do this and go do this and spend this? And they just go in the manager and do it, So if we're going to have a commission, help us help the community. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to call on people.
I have a really important thing that we'll clarify.
I'm not supposed to. Look at them. See,
May I give you a thing to say just one sentence?
if you yelled it out, I can't, I'll pretend. Shh, be quiet.
My statement is, we talk about the arts. The arts is the ugly little sister, but it is the means for messaging Ojai's vibrant identity. And if we forget the arts, if we do not support the arts and support the people, we lose a messaging arm. We actually cut off an arm of our arts community. So people are trying very hard, but we forget that the communication with our artists, as an artist, I taught at USC for 15 years. I'm also an artist and a writer, been a studio executive, and I'm also a little person trying to, teach children. So let's please, let's think about that. The arts are messages. Sorry.
I didn't hear it. Strike that from your mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We certainly agree with that.
Rile up community out there. If you're listening, talk to your council people. Say, this is important stuff. This, we shouldn't, you can. How many people do you serve? With animals and elephants and rats, and versus something important. Commissioner comments, please. Anybody else? Pamela, you want to go?
Oh, okay.
I do, actually. Hi. I want to remind everybody that the Ojai Studio Artist Tour is October 12th through 14th from 10 to 5. The tickets this year are $20, and all the money goes to our scholarship fund. In addition to that, every artist, well, many artists, I'm not sure every, but many artists are going to be donating a piece for purchase that the money will go to the scholarship fund too. And this is a new way for us to serve the community in terms of really trying to boost our funds for the scholarships. This last year in June, I think it was May, we had such great recipients, and it's such a service to our community. So I hope people will come out for that. And also the museum show, Inside, Outside, Flip Side, is at the Ojai Valley Museum. And by the way, the tickets for the tour can be bought on the ohaistudioartist.org website, on Eventbrite, or at the museum the weekend of the tour.
Thank you, Pam. Who's up? You want to go?
Please. With
Commissioner Starner.
the chair's indulgence, if before I give my commissioner comments, if we could return to Section 8, future agenda items.
Yes.
I realized that it was an oversight not for me to ask that we include the resolution of the ill-conceived copyright policy or procedure or whatever it is that James told us prevents audio in certain circumstances, including where the creator owns all aspects of the audio. So I would like it as an agenda item. I would like to see this policy or procedure or whatever it is. I'd like to understand how it's applicable and how it's handled in situations where the presenter owns the copyright and or the use is clearly a fair use. So I think we need to get that straightened out, and I think that should be at our next meeting.
Yes, it was embarrassing for our city.
Yes, so James, you have that as an item?
I do have that as a future agenda item.
Okay, so now my comments. Thank you, Pam, for that about the OSA tour, the Ojai Studio Artists Annual Tour, October 12th through 14th. That's very important. Also, I recently reviewed the city's general plan, and while it's great that the city has a general plan, and it is gaining momentum and being publicized and discussed, there is absolutely not a word about the arts. And we are an arts city. Certainly our outdoor heritage is very important, but our visual arts heritage is also important, and I'd like to be sure that this Arts Commission does what it can to include the arts in all aspects of what the city does.
Absolutely.
Those are my comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright?
Pam, isn't there an event at the museum on tomorrow night for Third Fridays that will feature some of the Ojai studio artists working?
Yes, thank you. There will be demonstrations at the museum tomorrow night. Thank you very much for that. And there's also an opening at the Ova Gallery in town, 5 to 7.
Great.
Nice. Is that it? Is that all you have?
I did enough all evening.
Oh, and you know what? Let's not forget the Land Conservancy's Film Festival this weekend.
Yeah.
They have the Mountain Film Festival, which is such a great event.
Yeah.
Well,
Wizard of Oz tomorrow evening.
When our website is, that we have a budget for and a kind of a plan for, and we just need kind of a process to do it, to be that kind of announcement area, that it isn't just build a website, it's have the processes in place that keep it up to date, to know what things are going on. Because there's so, my calendar's full of just what I'm doing with the arts this weekend, let's take this commissioner comment area as a way to revitalize our communication
Chair West
department.
and Vice Chair Steiner, I'm curious if it's possible to resolve this copyright audio issue before internally, so that they can come back on the 17th, which is when grant applicants are going to be presenting.
Yeah, well,
and
we'll
with a clear go ahead.
Yeah, well, you have some
And not
experts
to
here.
be
Christine's an expert,
an
and
agenda
I'm a
item?
music expert
I don't
too.
know.
And to me, it's a solved thing. But we can't have staff turning off our presentations
No,
of music
it's-
during the
it's
thing.
I was just hoping that there was, I don't know how it would happen, but if there was some way to get this
We don't have to vote on
resolved.
this. This is just
Right,
this
for
is
an
just
agenda
common
item,
sense,
if
yeah.
we could get it resolved with a couple of emails, so
think-
we
Well,
could
I think
invite Dance of Ojai
okay.
back to present it to everybody on that very.
Okay, we're on comments here. Let's finish up. I want to hear from.
You know,
Smitty, can I make another comment really quick? Because
Yes.
you brought something up.
Go ahead.
Okay. At our 5-year planning session, we talked about really being a vital hub for all the arts organizations and really networking. And part of the need of that is technology. And we still don't have our website up and working
Exactly.
or the ability to make that happen. And I'm wondering what it's going to take to be able to do that. I'm certainly willing to work on it, but we need a way to publicly connect.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, absolutely, thank you.
You're singing Smitty's song, that's for sure. I'm sorry for holding us up again, but Karina, with all due respect, I would like it on the calendar, on the agenda for next month, even if it's resolved in the interim, and we can always bring the dance people back in a different time rather than the presentation, because in a way it wouldn't be fair to have them have a second bite of the apple if the other grantees are presenting anyway. But I would like it on the agenda so whoever was listening to what happened tonight will have a clear direction about what's appropriate from a copyright perspective. So so James, if you struck it from the agenda, put it back on the agenda. Thank you.
All right, well, our boss is here tonight, which is nice. Come on up. Council liaison, Andrew.
So, I don't try to I try not to interfere with your meetings, but to watch. And I did text to our city attorney what happened during the dance presentation and asked him to provide clarification. What's the policy? Why do we have the policy? I never heard James say copyright. I don't know
Someone
why.
told him.
Why
James
the
didn't make that
audio shut
decision.
down.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, but it's either something the council's done in the past and said we can't have audio in presentations, or there's a legal issue. But I've asked Matt Summers to look at it.
Good.
And that was part of why I was on the phone.
Yeah.
Most of the
I
rest
wish
of the
we
time I
could
was on the
take-
phone, I was trying to address other issues.
Wish
like-
we could take what we pay him and add it in our grants budget, because we already know the answer. But go ahead.
So,
And Matt's not a copyright expert,
I'm
though.
gonna,
so
I'm
we
gonna make
ignore
a
him.
couple of comments. One is that I feel for your concern for the ad hoc committee and whatever the public perception of it is. I know that personally on the city council, and having that come to me as a council member, the approval of the recommendations, I had multiple family members, a very artistic family. So I had multiple family members that were gonna receive awards. Now, conflict of interest law says that, if you receive money, then you have a conflict of interest. When it's somebody else receiving the money, legally, technically, but you know what? I did not want to be any part of awarding money to a family member, because I know how critical people can be of participation in government. And I just was not going to even create the situation where someone would talk about me awarding money to my family.
What would you do next year?
Huh?
You would recuse yourself next year
I don't
again?
know. I
there would
address
be-
things when I come up. So
Everyone
but
in
my
Ojai
point
has a cousin in the arts. I mean, we come to
So-
a standstill. We need you, Andy. We know you. We need
So
your love of
but
art.
my point the point I want to make is, you guys have so many layers of independence in the appointment of these grants. I feel bad that you feel like you've had to do all this and all, but I understand it.
Andy, you know that the city attorney said that the conflict with the alleged conflict was in fact not a legal conflict, and you could have participated. This
Yeah.
wasn't a spouse. This wasn't a direct
I know
family
that.
member. And as Smitty said, we need you. With a council of only 5 people, and actually the point made by a member of our public, the importance of having a tiebreaker situation for a 5th council person to excuse him or herself on the basis of a false conflict of interest hurts us, which means it hurts the community. Please, we need you
So
to participate.
I think, and you also understand that, you know, as an attorney, you're supposed to avoid the appearance of impropriety. And,
Right,
and while the public should not have the perception that there is bias in any of these processes, and I fully believe there was no bias, no impropriety whatsoever in the process that you guys went through and make your decisions. We just have too much in our community. I mean, this is a national problem, but in our community, we have too much turning to that person is bad and they shouldn't be involved in this decision making. We need to get rid of that. Every time I do one of these, you know, liaison meetings, try to make sure that I say, thank you for serving. Because we don't function as a city without your participation. And I want, you know, if anything happens while I'm on city council, I think the most important thing would be that our community starts to think that it's a great thing to serve on these commissions or city council. But there's way too much negativity towards sticking your neck out and making, you know,
Well, you'll
the
have two new
process.
colleagues in a couple of months, right?
Andy, can we get your commitment that you will abide by the decision of the city attorney when it comes to a determination of whether there's a conflict of interest?
You know, I'll look at it when it comes up. I don't know. Maybe I won't have family members in that whole process.
No, we're not.
Yes or
We're
no?
not asking.
We
that.
want yes or no.
Yeah,
I know.
That's
Well,
not the
that's
question
great,
I'm
but, you
asking. The
know,
question is, will you abide by the city attorney's
I-
determination of whether there's a conflict of interest?
I can't make that commitment because he's not the end of the, I can choose to abstain. I mean.
Well, yes, you can, and look what happened last year when you chose to abstain.
Yeah.
And that,
And again, as Smitty said, we need your participation. It's why you were elected, to join in these difficult decisions. And if the attorney for the city clears you, we would urge you to please, you know, consult your
Yeah,
heart and
well,
your mind and participate in the vote.
Yeah.
yeah, he said yeah.
So,
He said yes.
so I'm,
Thank you, Anna.
so when, you know, when an issue comes to you is when you make the decision. So I will fully consider your comments, the comments of others who have talked to me about that. But there is an issue in this community that, you know, that you will be criticized for whatever decision you make. And it should not be personal. It should not be personal. It should be about substance and policy. But the fact of the matter is that it is. I mean, you guys may have seen that somebody decided to take an attack at my integrity and participation on council because I asked questions about a 265-page report. All I did was ask questions.
Well, we got to be big. We got to rise above that. And
so
we care about art, and you're
I
our
know.
boss, and you asked for us to.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a little bit of help because I don't have a staff. I'm as much hamstrung as you feel like you are. Our system of government is that we have a city manager as our executive officer. So he is really the place where you say, hey, we're hitting a clog here, and he's the one who can assign you staff. So I think I also have to say is we don't have enough staff. And so, you know, I appreciate James, but we do not have enough staff. And we also don't have enough money to do everything we want to do. So, I mean, these are all issues. So, you know.
Yeah, we're going to
So
fight.
we need-
We're going to fight for the arts, for our attention, for our ability to do what
Right.
you hired us to do. There's
Right.
no one else
I
is
know,
cheering us
but
on. Except
I'm going
the
to
people.
say that I mean, this has been an issue that I've been very much aware of. It hasn't been as big of a problem as it was maybe a year or a couple of years ago, but it's a problem in every city where you have individual commissioners like going to staff and saying, do this for me. And what Mr. Harvey has made adamantly clear is that he needs to be the clearinghouse of assigning staff to do stuff. So I don't know what mechanism is in place to ask for
they have a certain number of hours.
reprinting of brochures.
There's a certain, but there's a certain number of hours that we have James for, but I guess we want good hours, you know. Yeah. We don't want I'll elevate this or, you know, he's following his rules though, you know what I mean? We already kind of
So I guarantee that everybody on staff is working as hard as they can.
No, we
and
know
there is
that.
just not enough time, not enough people. And so I understand your frustration, and I think it's best to be communicated through Ben Harvey, and probably best for you, Smitty, to do that. But he's the guy who can and maybe I'm going to get yelled at by Ben, but
no,
I think he'd agree with everything that I'm saying right now.
We have a respectful
but
relationship.
I feel for your frustration, but
You should know, Andy, that we're a really good commission, that we make sure under Smitty's leadership that we go through Smitty to staff. So we're actually really
Yes.
good on that regard. And that's
I
all thanks
appreciate
to
that.
Smitty's leadership.
I appreciate that. And I do think that you guys are a great commission, and you know, I think we're really lucky in Ojai that we have a lot of good commissioners on all of the commissions.
Don't
so.
forget, you're our boss too.
Huh?
You're our boss. We work for you.
Well, here's the problem: is I can't do anything alone, and
You're
that's
still our
just
boss.
part of the deal.
You're still our boss.
So,
You know? We serve at
here-
the council's.
So one of the things that you learn on city council, and this is true, your commission, you can't do anything individually. You have to have 2 more votes. And I can do very little that that doesn't have to result in a vote of 3 people from city council. So,
I'll handle that. I just got you here now.
yeah. Well, I appreciate that you guys want to push forward and get as much done as possible.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
But
We don't want to be a problem. We want to be seen as doing really important things that the community needs.
Public perception is, we're putting on theater for the community. I know a lot of people watch city council meetings for entertainment value, but
they didn't get any music.
But I hope we can present a united front that we're in this together, and I want to be a participant that helps you.
Good.
But we've got to, I was concerned that there was a lot of criticism of, quote unquote, the city. And I think we always have to look to do a better job. But we need to recognize that we've got at least some limitations, and I think those types of discussions are best handled in context of the city manager. And by all means, if you talk to the city manager and you don't think you're getting a satisfactory response, then go to a city council member and say, hey, we need, but we are a town of limited resources. So it's
Well, who
always,
gets the resources? Sometimes, we don't want to be the gadfly. We want to become on the strength of our commitment and our plan and what we want to do for the community. We'd love if that could just speak for
understand that.
itself,
I understand that, and I think you guys are doing a good job of that, of pushing your mission forward, through the city. And I think that, it would probably be useful for the city council and the commission to collaborate on how to raise the money that you feel like you need to be in that grants program. But you gotta
TOT, and give it to
recognize
the
that if we
arts.
take $50,000 more and put it in your grants program, that means that there's $50,000 less somewhere else.
Well, we have ideas on that, and we're willing to work with it on that. It's just, but like
I
you heard
think
tonight,
that's- I
we
think
were
that's the best
told,
way.
but what we're told
My
doesn't
impression is
match
that's
what
the
we
best
got.
way for you guys to get that done.
Yeah, Andy, I don't think anyone voiced criticism, certainly frustration, but I wouldn't call it criticism. And many jurisdictions, even small jurisdictions like ours, have art departments and have real staff. I think we're the only commission that doesn't have a real quote-unquote staff person. So recreation has people, planning has people, historic preservation.
I don't think has a staff.
Right,
person.
but it uses
They do?
it uses the planning people who are who give it more attention and more
Yeah.
time. And moreover, its purview is not as wide as ours. So I think we need to look at how we are managing the arts in this art city.
I think you gotta present that to city council, that you'd
will.
like to see.
We will.
want you to bring it back.
A dedicated,
I want you to vote on it.
a dedicated staff person, but, I can't put anything on the agenda.
No, we understand.
There's gotta be,
No,
you
but
know,
just, we're gonna,
just want your support.
yeah.
we have your voice now and here, and we thank you for coming, and you're a smart guy, and you come from an arty family, and you know the power of art in a community to pull things together. It could be the solution to what you see as the problem, so, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not cutting you off, but
No.
I just,
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, but I did also send, I don't think Ben is gonna be in contact with us for another week or so, but I did send him, what is the amount that you have for your grants? Please, there was some
well, they told us.
concern or confusion. And, anything else that you guys feel like is unanswered, I'm happy to be the person who messengers to.
Well, James is supposed to be, and he tried, and he couldn't really get an answer.
If whenever I have the types of questions you guys are raising tonight, I shoot a message to Ben, unless it's a legal question, and then I send it to Matt, and I CC Ben. And they're pretty good about responding. And if you're, actually, they're very good about responding. And so I offer my assistance if you ever feel like you're not getting a response. I'm happy to be, you know, a go-between to help you get the response you need.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
That's it? Thank you, Andy. Fryer? I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you, James. You've been a good sport, because it's not personal. We're just trying to do good for the community. We're going to adjourn this until till September 19th, 6 p.m. right here.
October?
That's a typo.
Yeah, October. Yet another typo.
October 17th.
Right.
Just do it as
I-
don't listen to what I say, or they write. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.